how to wire your mind so you'll succeed in attracting healthy relationships. I've talked a lot on this channel about intuition, but I haven't talked so much about the role of your mind in attracting happy, healthy relationships. And as much as it's important to become educated on the topic and understand the strategies that people use in order to get what they want, at some point you have to program your mind to feel happy about dating and to feel happy about meeting new people. If you're always paranoid, what will happen is that will come across when you're going out on the dates, and you might start talking negatively in front of the other person. And that's not really a good thing. You don't want to be talking negatively about exes. You don't want to talk negatively about people you're dating in general. And you need to keep that between you and your friends, not with the people you date. It's not their job to make you feel comfortable and safe necessarily. It's your job to discern who is safe for you as that sensitive person on the date. So what you need to do instead to reprogram your mind for good things is understand that whatever you feed your mind is going to show up in your beliefs and in your relationships. So it's so important to understand how people use tactics to take advantage of you, because you do want to prevent that from happening, but you also need to let go of that information to a certain extent. You have to find a balance where you don't want to be totally naive and manipulated by people by always assuming the best. You want to be informed, you want to be aware, and yet show up with that positive attitude and be your best self. You want to have that balance where you're not scaring people away by acting bitter and angry, but you are being happy and being your best self and yet being really smart. If you strike that balance and you get it correct, then people are going to be amazingly attracted to you. They're going to be very impressed by how clever you are, but they're also going to want to be in your energy because you're a happy person. So if you tell yourself anything negative, like I'm too fat, I am too old, I am not educated enough, all of these things aren't really true. There are entrepreneurs with no education who start from nothing and create big success. There are people in their senior age who find love in their 80s and 90s. I've seen it happen. I've witnessed it. I have seen obese people connect with other obese people and find love and happiness. So whatever negative beliefs you have about relationships that are holding you back, it's one thing to be educated and have information and know how to deal with a specific strategy. It's another to have a negative belief about yourself, and you have to be discerning and be able to tell the difference. You want to program yourself with happy, positive beliefs, and you do that by telling yourself good stuff in your mind. You want to tell yourself that you're beautiful, that you're smart, and that you're worthy of great things, that you're worthy of healthy relationships. It's very, very important, because if you go out into the world with any kind of broken energy, any kind of energy like I'm not enough or I'm not lovable, and we all have those demons inside of us from time to time, but if we don't sort them out, that's going to be like a green flag for manipulators to come and abuse us or take advantage of us. So we have to get those thoughts under control, and often they can kind of radiate out in our conversations if we're not careful. Our unconscious thoughts come bubbling to the surface because it feels good to reveal our most inner thoughts. And we want to make sure that those inner thoughts are reflecting our best selves. It doesn't mean we're not being authentic or we're not being true to ourselves, but we're showing up as the best version of ourselves. And it's really important for us to understand that and strike that balance. I have had periods of my life where I've been so negative and so suspicious that I've pushed people away. I've had other phases of my life where I'm getting the self-talk right and I'm really loving myself, filling myself with positive beliefs, and yet didn't have the education on how to handle people in personal relationships. So I showed up a little bit naive, and that's the opposite end of the spectrum. You want to have a good balance of smart and happy going for you, so that people aren't easily going to take advantage of you, but you're also not negative and bitter. That's why young people sometimes get into relationships more easily than more mature people. We can be very sexy and very attractive as mature people, but it depends on our attitude. If we show up with the right attitude, we can win over young people and their insecurities. But the thing that the young have on their side is that they're so happy and so energetic and excited because they haven't been that badly wounded yet in their relationships. Whereas us more mature people tend to have a bit more baggage if we haven't dealt with that baggage. The good news is if you've had troubling relationships in the past and you're not really happy with how people have treated you, there is therapy, there's coaching, there's so many options for you to heal nowadays. We live in an age where the options are really endless in order for you to work on your trauma and move past them. And so you should take advantage of those opportunities. If there's some negative belief that's holding you back and you've tried really hard on your own to journal about it, maybe you do need some assistance. Maybe you do need a reading or a coaching of some kind in order to get assistance from somebody who has a bit more experience and expertise than you. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's amazing to look for somebody who can potentially help you or mentor you if they have time. If you're able to find those resources and those people and reach out to them, it is worth its weight in gold. Like, we might think there are other priorities in life. I have to be able to buy my food or my shelter. Sometimes education is worth more than both of those. So you really want to seriously consider, can you afford something, rather than, oh, I'm too buried in expenses to afford something. It's really, really critically important in your life if you want to grow and move past the obstacles you've been facing. You need to have room in your heart and room in your mind and room in your bank account, basically, to grow. Because if you don't, you're going to stay stuck and stay the same. And that's okay. You can stay stuck and stay the same, but you might not be that happy. You might not have enough reasons to wake up in the morning and work hard towards your goals, dreams, and ambitions without getting some kind of help. So it's something you want to consider when you're working on yourself and aligning your thoughts to be in a positive space to attract what you truly deserve into your life.